Good morning, y'all. Hey, Anka. I grab some coffee. How are you this morning? Hello, Glitch Kitty. Glitch Kitty is also here to listen to the stream. Or rather, to ask me for something, but stream. Korean markets have the best instant coffee, I have to say. Alright, here we are. Hey, Rowan. Alright, so our first story today is The Wolf, which is one that I wrote to kind of the vibe of the song The Wolf by Mumford and Sons, which is a very good song and which I highly recommend. The night around these woods falls early. As it grows, the dark thickens until you can't even make out the trees. Anyone who walks through this lake carries light, but nothing shines in my cabin window when the knock comes. I open the peephole to see strawberry locks, green eyes, face I've never forgotten. Her. Stale sweat still sticks to my skin and my sleeping flannel. A wolf bay strikes the air, loud and close. I yank the door open and she rushes in. I slam it. There's another howl, even closer. My skin prickles from the sound. But that door's solid enough to keep out a bear. Are you okay? I ask. Not really. Kay. I use the nickname. She always liked it better than Kayla. Were you being chased? Why are you out in the woods so late? Or what happened? Yeah. She won't look straight at me. Please, can I stay here tonight? Going back outside. Of course. Good God, why would she ever think otherwise? Are you injured? I ask. No, the wolf didn't. It didn't catch me. I nod. I get a better look at her now. She's come into her 60s better than I have, with that smooth baby face holding through. But her eyes dart around the room, her shoulders held up tight. Her hands worry each other, and it's left her fingers red and chafed, the nails torn short. The unspoken questions twist in my throat. Where's she been? What happened? Why is she here? Why did she leave? Maybe I can ask later, after she's had time to calm down. My couch is soft enough to sleep on, I think, I say. Those taut shoulders sag. Uh, okay. Those taut shoulders relax. They're the first part of her to relax since she stepped through the door. Thank you, she says. Do you want a drink? I can brew something up, like hot cider. I'm not sure whether to hug her. Holding back from her feels wrong, but it's been so long, and she don't seem to be looking for it. I hold on to a straight face. Gotta be calm for her. Yeah, please. Thank you. She tries to smile, but she doesn't manage it. That sounds good, Drew. At least she still uses my nickname. I keep it together through the kitchen door, pull out the pot to heat the cider, check the clock to remind myself how late it is. I watch the bubbles pop, one by one. I listen to the baying of that wolf. Wolves don't usually howl when they hunt. A lone wolf would do it to find a pack or a mate. Maybe this one's acting funny. Maybe Kay's confused. Maybe she's lying. I almost forget to turn the heat off the cider. I pour it into 2 mugs, stir an ice cube through each so it won't scorch us to drink it, and realize there's nothing left to do. My cheeks are wet, my throat is burning, my whole face hurts. I wet my face dry. Maybe it won't show. Pick up the mugs, brave the living room once again. She's on the couch, folded in on herself. Boots on the floor, feet on the cushion. Reddish blonde hair limp across her raised knees. Off her mug, she takes it with both hands, holds it tight against her shins. She flinches in time to the sound of the wolf outside. I turn on the radio. Reception's terrible, but it's enough to get some crackling pop rock to fill the room. Drowns out the noise from outside if I turn it up enough. Her voice, when it comes, is so quiet I almost miss it. Is your room safe? My bedroom? From wolves? A nod. Should be. Bears haven't gotten in yet. Not the best thing to say. The windows are reinforced. It's safe out here too, I promise. Next howl comes loud enough to drown out the radio. There's a crack at the door. I go to the bedroom for my gun. Kay shadows close behind. She sees me take the hunting rifle out of its case and puts a hand on my arm. Drew, no. Kay, don't worry. I'll get a look at whatever it is first, maybe even just scare it off. You don't understand. It's that wolf. You can't shoot wolves around here. Can't under the right circumstances. Blows at the door turn into the fibrous crackle of wood splintering. Holy. I don't think that's a wolf, Kay. Bear. Gotta be. They ain't never gotten through my door before. But who knows? Maybe Kay walked through the wrong territory, pissed her mama off. I get the rifle from the safe and load the magazine. Don't let my hands shake. Can't look scared. Can't be scared. Not with Kay here. Get the earplugs too if I'm gonna be firing it. Do you want to try and scare it? I say. There's BB gun and safe, but I think that's just gonna piss it off. She scrambles for it and I walk out into the living room, rifle in hand. Don't look right. It's the size of a bear, but the snout's too long, the ears the wrong shape. I know this because the goddamn monster of a wolf done broke a hole through my door and it's peering its head in. I am the gun to fire. Kay's hand knocks my shot off aim. Boom, and the overhead light is bust. We're alone in the dark with it. Smoldering embers of the fire let out just enough light to glint off its eyes. What the hell, Kay? I can't make out what it's doing, but the sound of the splintering woods comes back. Don't hurt it. Are you kidding me? There's a storm lantern by the bedroom door. I get the lantern on and see the creature step through the shattered remnants of the doorway. I line up a shot, but Kay's faster. She pops one off with the BB gun, gets hit in the eye. The thing yelps. Blood pours black in the blue-white light of the storm lantern. I hear a high, suppressed scream from Kay. She's only got one hand on the BB gun now. The other's clutching her eye, and blood wells up between her fingers. Noise. I whirl back to face the door, catch sight of the wolf's tail, and then it's gone. I don't know when it'll come back, but I turn to help Kay. What happened to your eye? I pull her hand away to have a look. I can't see her eye past all the blood. I get the first aid kit. What are we gonna do? Ain't no landline, and it's a long walk to cell service. It's a hike to get to vehicles, too. With that wolf out there, she should have let me kill it. Why the hell didn't she? How'd she even hurt her eye this bad? No, Drew ain't used to magical things. I draw her into the bedroom now that we can't put the front door between us and the woods anymore. We'll cover the eye in gauze and padding. I ask her again what happened. I shot the wolf, she says. The hell does that have to do with anything? If you killed the wolf, she says, I'd be dead. I don't understand. You don't need to. She hisses, holds a hand over the bandages. No point questioning her if she's going to be in too much pain to make sense. Cabin ain't safe to stay in. Had the door bearproof for a reason. By now everything around's gonna see a broken door, smell my kitchen, and all that blood. Wolf's out there. My bedroom door might as well be papered, monster that can break through bearproofing. The hell we gonna do? Is Kay gonna lose that eye if we don't get her to a hospital? Is the wolf gonna come get us if we stay? Or hunt us if we go? Best thing is find a way to kill it. Kay's eye, what she says killing it would do. Boom. Kay's got the hunting rifle in her hand, and it's still aimed at her leg, which is now bleeding out. Tears run down her face. Sh Tears run down her careworn face, but she's laughing. The fuck? I don't have a kit big enough for this. I pull my sheet off the mattress, start wrapping it around her leg. Can't get me now, can you? She asks no one. I run medical tape around the sheets even while they soak through. Ain't no choice now about waiting or going. Gotta make it to a hospital or she's gonna die. She's too heavy to carry far. I think there's a wheelbarrow in the shed. Wait here, I say like she's got any choice. Take the rifle and leave her the BB. I hope to hell she don't hurt herself further, but I can't leave her without protection. Close the useless bedroom door behind me. Ain't nothing shows in the storm lamp's glow. Carry it with me, pry the remains of the front door open. What's left sags on one hinge. I hear it growl, low and rumbling through my bones. Drop the lantern. Its heavy weight shakes my wooden floor and it rolls sideways through the doorway. The wolf stands just outside, its growl a roll and rumble. There's no K to lose her mind around me now. I aim, slip my finger underneath the trigger guard. Hesitate. He's walking towards me with a limp. I back up, The light of the storm lantern glistens over the blood welling from its injured back leg. Not much living room left to retreat. I aim. Fire. It yelps. Kay screams. The wolf falls to its side, the front leg I just shot crumpling. He can't chase us any further like that. I got the same side Kay shot. Kay, I gotta go help Kay. She'll have two limbs bleeding now. I can't believe that I believe her. It's hard to process when I walk in to see her arm course in bright red blood. One of my longer skirts stanches the flow. She's barely conscious, but she smiles at me. It's half a grimace, but she knows I stopped the wolf. I holler onto my back where she clings with one good arm. Open the bedroom door. Wolf's still trying to move on his two remaining legs. Stares at her, ears sagging, tail down. I feel Kay's blood on my skin, wet where it's soaking through the makeshift bandages. Never again, old friend, she says. Never again. I press us both against the wall, get furniture between us, knit where I can. We make it through the broken front door. Unlock the shed and get the wheelbarrow. Kay's blood still drying on my hands. She helps me ease her into it with her good arm. Somewhere underneath all the metal smell of blood, I catch a whiff of her hair. Lilacs and evergreen. I used to know that smell. The good hand she runs fingers down the side of my face. I missed you, she says. Draw back. Gotta get her to the hospital. God knows what we'll tell the doctors. In the end, I don't know what she tells them. Ambulance don't let me come with. By the time I get my truck to the hospital, they locked her up in a room and won't let me visit. Never mind how long we lived together before she disappeared. We couldn't get married then, so we ain't married now. I sit in the waiting room. Any minute, cops are gonna come in and take me in for questioning. I'm sure. I shot her, after all, even if it was through some weird magic. Well, what am I gonna do if they come take me away? I can't leave. Not until I know she's alright. Not until I can ask her everything I never could. I hold vigil in the waiting room all night, all the way in the morning. People filter in and out, and each time it makes me twitch. A new maybe threat. Part of me still keeping an eye out for bloodied fur and gleaming eyes. I still don't know what that thing was or what tied it to Kay. Cops come. I tense rigid as they pass me and walk into the intensive care unit. One of them comes out and talks to me. At the end, I don't remember much other than the words "I don't know" coming out of my mouth over and over. On the inside, it's like a hand's clenched fingers around my heart. On the outside, my face is relaxed, calm. It's like I'm two different people. After a while, I realize they're trying to identify some imaginary idiot firing shots into the woods at night and hitting innocent hiker Kay. In this fairy tale, I'm some kind of noble rescuer who found her hurt and bandaged her up. I don't know what we'll say when they investigate and find the wolf. Most of Kay's wounds don't have bullets traced back to my gun and tell a truer tale. The one in the leg, Kay's told him she did by accident while she was trying to defend herself. By the bewildering end, they let me see her. privacy even. She's laid out in bandages, covered in sensors hooked to machines that beep and push fluids. But her eyes don't dart around the room. Instead, they fix on me and see me. True, there's no pain in that smile. I missed you. I close the distance between us. She pulls me in with a good arm and our foreheads touch, our lips brush. I don't say it back, but I think she knows. After we part, I pull over the chair. Why? It's about everything, really. It's not that I wanted to leave you, Drew. I just thought it'd be safer. Because that thing was chasing you? Because that thing was me. I don't try to disbelieve her this time. I just nod. After years. Sorry, wrong voice. After she swallows. Years. I learned how to split it away from me. Her eyes lose focus. But it chases me and catches me, and I become the wolf again. Howling like it was seeking a pack mate. Never again, old friend, she'd said to it. Is it gonna chase you forever? I ask. She shakes her head, much as the wires let her. 3 nights. If I keep it away for 3 nights, it's gone forever. How many nights you managed to escape? She spares a glance out the hospital window. The sun is shining. One, with you. I reach out to her, touch her hand. Then let's keep running. She smiles at me with those green eyes I remember so well. It's her. It's her, and we don't have to be apart anymore. So that was The Wolf. The next story is going to start at 10:30. We'll do like a 5-minute BRB, but I hope y'all enjoyed. Yeah, poor wolf. Hello, additional users. I don't know if y'all are in chat or if y'all are watching, but it's wonderful to see you. Now I've got to spend the next 5 minutes turning my southern accent back off. I'm originally from the South, so it likes to stick around when it visits. All right, we return. So now we're gonna change stories. Let's change these content notes. Did I forget to? Nope, no, I've got the sound on. Good. The ocean of trees surrounds our island. It starts at the shore, little sproutlings like wooden grass. Further in, you're further down, and they're bushes brushing your knees. Then saplings, and the deeper you go, the taller they grow, until they're as tall as you, and that's about the furthest point from which you can still see the shore. The magic starts to take you then, lapping at your cheeks. Further in and further down, and the trees soon reach far above your head, and the shore is long gone behind you, and the magic is seeped behind your eyes and into your head, stealing from your mind to craft phantasms from your undreamt nightmares. I have heard that beyond this ocean, there are other islands. That's what I think about when I get the news about Elia. I think about it when the healer says she's going to die, when she's shaking scared in my arms, after she's fallen asleep in our bed. When I go out to the shore of the forest and I stare across those endless treetops. Somewhere out beyond the horizon, there's another island, and maybe there they know how to cure her. Elia doesn't hear about my plans through me. The guilt of not telling her drags through my body as she confronts me. Fear of her grabs me close when she says she wants to come too. She reasons it out with me for all that I want to keep her home and bring her safety. It makes sense, of course. Even if I get all the way to another island, there's no telling if I can make it back. And her illness hasn't reached its true havoc yet. If I can make it, she can. We'll go together. Lost. Definitely lost. I say it out loud, squeezing the clammy fingers Elia's interwoven through my own as she follows behind me. The moon the moon is shining through the treetops, but with fog it feels like it comes from a distant world. Opaque waters splash around our ankles as we step. With each move forward, I hesitate. Any moment now, I'll step into a hole, or my foot will meet a river serpent, or some worse creature I wouldn't even recognize. On the edge of my vision, I catch little white flickers of the strange rodent-like mammals that live here. They glow in the moonlight, but nothing seems to eat them. Elia thinks they're cute. I think there's a reason they have no camouflage. Maybe they're the poison dart frogs of these depths. I keep her close and tell her not to touch any. I feel her fingers shift in my hand, and I turn to check on her. A small child is following me, fingers in mind. She has Elia's soft curls and two direct black eyes. I shut my own eyes and will my mind to order. Maybe you should lead the way, I say. It strains my parched throat to say it, but it strains my will more. It's hard to let go of the semblance of control in this place, to let anyone else lead, to not think less of Elia. But in this place, thinking less is making less. Elia knows that. Maybe if I listened to her and believed the moonlight white mammals were harmless, they would be. But it's hard enough just to remind myself of this, that Elia is not a little girl. I open my eyes, and my wife is her own age again, and taller than me like she usually is. She untangles her fingers from my grip and squeezes my hand. We can make it through this sty, she says. She changes our direction toward the distant glow of the moon. She's going the wrong way. No, there is no right or wrong way. We're lost. My direction wasn't right, so who's to say hers is wrong? I let her drag me along, trying carefully to place my feet only where she stepped. One of the moonlight creatures skips across our path. From close up, it looks more like a cat or a rabbit. Elia halts us both, letting it pass without touching it the way I'd asked. At no point in following her do I turn into a little girl, or anything other than me, as far as I can tell. Shame worms through me at that. She trusts me better than I do her, I guess. The water we're wading through descends from our ankles to only cover our feet, then to only squelch the soles of our boots, and then departs to leave us walking on dry land. The earth beneath us is moist and pilled. It reminds me of fresh grave dirt, for all that my family's graveyard is a dry and dusty clay. In answer to my thought, I catch from the corner of my eye the sight of bleached bones jutting from the dirt. Elia drags me past it, not turning her head, but I catch full sight of half a rib cage, a reaching hand, a skull. It looks like a human, if humans had strange horned ridges on the side of their skulls. We aren't going to we aren't going to die, love, Elia says to me. We aren't that deep in the woods anymore. There is not much left. How do you know? Because I want to challenge it, but I don't. If thoughts twist the shape of these woods, then she needs to believe we're almost out, right? I just need to not doubt too much. I try to make myself believe it. The ground is rising, right? That's why we're out of the water, isn't it? So if the ground is rising, we have to at least be heading the right way, whether we're almost out or not. But then I look at the treetops towering so high above us. We're still in deep for almost being out. The trees are shorter at the edges, everyone knows that. And I still don't recognize the wildlife or the plants, and I knew all the ones near the edge. Well, near our edge at least. The wind blows through the trees, and sound shudders through the whole forest in a wave. Sha, sha. Even when the wind stops, the shaking sound continues, reminding me now of a rattler. I look in the direction the sound comes from to see it. Something wrapped around a tree. I'm sorry, Elia says. I realize it must be a product of her imagination, or at least summoned by her stray thoughts. It's black. No, a dark green, says the barest sheen of moonlight. It unwraps itself from the tree to reveal a yellow belly with many, many legs, like a centipede the size of a python. Between those legs are a countless row of teeth going straight down the line of its body. Still holding a loop of itself to the tree, it unwraps further, hanging out into the air, reaching for us. It's close, too close. I can smell a putrid stench from the dark fluid dribbling from those endless fangs. Elia and I both pull back, or try. There's another tree behind us with a suspicious black shape wrapped around it. Another to our left, and another, and another. She whimpers, but I'm the one who starts to think out loud. They they have camouflage, but the one didn't wait until we were in range to attack. It, it it's making a threat display, and maybe it's poisonous, but n- nothing nothing has that many spikes without being. I swallow, afraid of something else. I think about those moonlight white cat rabbit rodent creatures. The color of something that fears nothing if it's going to be running around the woods at night. I make an effort to think about them, to hope, wish, believe things about them. I believe in what's going to happen. I grip Elia's hand, tensing my muscles, preparing. Run when I do, I say. We cling to each other, watching those gray fangs ooze something blackish red and foul to smell. I hear a rustling in the woods, a flash of white from the corner of my eye. I run, Elia alongside me. I can smell explosions of bitter odor, hear alarm chitters echo through the woods. I take us on a zigzag route through the trees. On some of the turns, I can see growing flickers of moonlight white and flecks of bug gut yellow. We find the upward slope and we charge it hard. We'll make it to the shore. I'm certain. So that was The Forest Between the Islands. I've always been a little bit dissatisfied with this one. I feel like it doesn't, there's something missing. Also, maintaining femme voice for so long is kind of difficult. Elia is dying of some illness, and there's no cure on their island, so they're trying to find if there's a cure on another island. But yeah, the inspiration for this one, I'm pretty sure there's a Tumblr post about like, what if oceans were made of trees? And then, or there's a Death Cab for Cutie song that's kind of like that. Uh, and then there's a post on Art of Animation. I'd have to really dig to find it. That has the little um rabbit cat things. I do still love. I think I borrowed from Rowan the concept of just content notes. They don't have to be warnings. They don't have. They're just like, here's what's in the thing that you might find relevant. So I will share the link. This is my dear friend Anka, also known as Alquill. Um, this is her website where she posts different fiction. And today we're going to read The Sleeper's Bride, which is much gentler than our previous two stories. I figured it would be a nice dessert to our book brunch. I remember passing through a store, or through a town, that swore they had had a sleeping beauty who had been on display in a glass coffin in the city hall for a century. They had at least half a dozen stories on how she got there. Her parents insulted a fairy, her father cursed having a daughter instead of a son. You know the kind. All the stories agreed that she did wake up after 100 years, and was, like you are when you sleep for too long, not entirely clear in the head. And here's the story of what happened afterwards. She awoke with her head full of gray clouds, and looked around, facing the crowd gathered to watch her wake. Nobody wanted to be the first to speak, but eventually she asked, "Where is my bride?" That started everybody talking because nobody remembered a story of the sleeper having a bride. The Major did not feel all that good about letting her go on her own, but she was adamant that she had to find her bride. So he merely made sure she had good boots and a coat and some other provisions. She had brought money into the town's kitty, attracting tourists, so it just seemed fair. The sleeper was glad to leave the town behind, because it seemed far too noisy. She followed a street that followed a stream, all three of them meeting a great river near nightfall. Since it was summer and the water was low, she decided to sleep under the bridge that spanned the stream. When she awoke in the morning, a water spirit was watching her, eyes floating just above the surface. "Good morning to you," said the woman. The water spirit laughed. "Are you lost?" "Not more than anyone. I have lost someone, though. I'm looking for my bride." At that, the water spirit rose until she looked the sleeper straight in the eyes. "Maybe I'm your bride." The sleeper looked at her and was not sure. She could not remember much at all. "Kiss me. I shall recognize you if you are." So the water spirit embraced and kissed her, all rippling cool water stroking her skin and making her shiver. "No, my bride is not cold like you." "So? Oh well, if you want to go on, go on." The water spirit disappeared with a splash, and the sleeper took to the road in sodden clothes. But she kept walking, and sun and wind dried her off. The land changed, and she found herself walking through a vast forest. After a while, she left the road and looked for a place to rest, away from all passers-by, when the leaves around her rustled like a gale had shaken them, and a tree spirit appeared. "What are you doing here? You should stay on the road." The sleeper bowed. "I have been walking far, and would like to rest away from it. Will you allow me?" The tree spirit nodded. "If you will tell me why you travel, you may stay a short while." "Thank you." The sleeper sat on a fallen tree to eat and drink. She offered of her bread to the hostess, who declined. Refreshed, the sleeper said, "I slept 100 years, or so they tell me. I remember few things, but that I was to marry. I want to travel until I find my bride." "You don't remember more? So I might be your bride." "Will you kiss me? If you are, I should recognize you that way." All right. The tree spirit's kiss was sap sweet, and her hands were strong, but her lips and skin felt as rough as bark. The sleeper said, "Thank you, but you are not my bride." "That is all right. You are more polite than most humans. If you go this way, up in the mountains, you may find help. The winds hear a lot of stories." The tree spirit showed the sleeper to a rarely traveled path and bade her farewell. So the sleeper walked and walked, slowly but steadily, up to the high mountain where the wind spirits dance. They barely took shape and asked her what she was doing up in their realm while they played with her hair and her coat. "I am looking for my bride whom I had to leave behind long ago." One of the spirits went as still as they could, twirling in front of the sleeper. "I think I promised to marry a human long ago. Could I be your bride? If you kiss me, I shall know." The wind spirit's kiss seemed to fill the sleeper's lungs and head, and her embrace blew between the sleeper's clothes and skin, a light and wild caress. "I'm sorry, you are not my bride." "It is as it is. If you meet a human who had an air spirit, promise to marry her. Will you tell her I'm sorry I forgot?" The sleeper promised and walked on, down the high mountain, into scraggy, rocky valleys, catching the heat of the sun. Tired from the climbing, she looked for shelter to rest and found a cave. There, a fire spirit found her and asked, "What is a human doing here?" "I am looking for my bride," the sleeper said, startled. "Are you now? What does she look like?" "I don't remember." "So how will you recognize her?" "By her kiss." The fire spirit smiled. "May I kiss you?" The sleeper thought the fire spirit might burn her, but she did not feel scared. "That would be kind." The fire spirit's touch was soothing warm, her kiss hot, but not painful. This close she smelled of incense. "I remember," the sleeper whispered. "And I remember you. Nobody else was brave enough to kiss me." The fire spirit gave the sleeper back her name, so they could make their vows, and live together as they had promised, so long ago. And that is the end of The Sleeper's Bride and our trio of stories for today. Next week we will resume the Magical Mafias episodes. Thank you so much, Anka, for providing the third short story for our story time today. It was wonderful. Anka does a lot of good writing and art. I do recommend to anybody else watching to check out her website. It is posted in the chat and you can see it on the screen. I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's, and I hope your year goes well.